Hello parents, I'm Mr. Howard Yu. Today I'd like to share with you the secrets of P4 subject-based banding briefing. This briefing should be given to all P4 parents as they prepare the parents to understand the responsibility for them and for teachers and tutors to prepare their children or students to do well in P4. So just a brief introduction of myself. I was formerly trained in NIE in both the NIE and NTU. I got my degree and also the diploma in physical education. And I was a former PSLE science marker for Section B and also author for the Mastering P5 PSLE Science open-ended questions. So today I'd like to share with you the secrets of P4 subject-based banding. So these are the changes for your child who is currently in primary 4. So all the P4 and even the P5 students, they will be assessed by their achievement levels called ALs instead of T-scores. And that will lead them to the streaming-free secondary education. That means by the time your child who is in P4 now in 2021, when he or she reaches secondary 1, there won't be any NA or NT or express stream. So that's why they call streaming-free secondary education. So let me share with you the difference between T-scores and also the ALs. So in the past, there are students who do very well. Maybe they achieved the T-score of 280, and there are some very, very weak students in Singapore, they achieve only 80 marks. So there's a difference of more than 200 possible different T-scores aggregates. So the new assessment system will be classified into 29 possible ALs, with the best score of 4 ALs to the worst A score of AL of 32. So 32 is achieved by 8 times 4, you get 32. And if you get all subjects AL1, so you have 4. So that's why there are 29 possibilities. So these are the mark range for AL. So students who score 90 and above, they will get AL1. And you can see the next one is 85 to 89. So in fact, different AL have different ranges. Like those in AL1, they have a range of 10 scores from 90 to 100. So there are 8 ALs altogether. So I show you another example. For example, a student who did very well, scoring 90 and above in all the 4 subjects, the students will get an AL of 4. And let's say this student, let's say he or she get AL3 for English, as you see the corresponding rectangular box here. AL3 will correspond to a mark range of 80 to 84, and AL2 will be 85 to 89. So supposedly this student with these different ALs with a total score of 8. So for total score of 8, he or she actually qualifies for the expressed. And then let's say a student with a total score of 21 will actually qualify for express or even NA. So these are the current we call streaming for students who are in P6 and P5 in the year 2021. And you can see from this chart, your child, for example, if it's in P4, by the time he or she take the PSLE will be 2023. So that year they will have no more streaming and will be have full subject-based banding implication from 2024 onwards. And here is one example, although there's no subject-based banding for secondary school, but most schools in Singapore, they still carry out internal P4 streaming. So here I give you a hypothetical example. Supposedly this school, they will stream the top 32 pupils. Supposedly the best P5 class has 32 pupils. So the top 32 pupils will go to the best P5 class. Similarly for the second best 32. So they will be streamed to the top 2 P5 classes usually classified with the profile of high ability students. And then the next best strategy is to secure your child, P4 now, to enter the top two classes. Because all P5 classes will be promoted en bloc. So you can see from here, and the top 33 to 64 students based on T-score will be promoted to the second best P5 classes. So instead of T-score, you use the AL, as I mentioned earlier, in this example, the AL. So your child may be posted to the top P5 classes based on this AL. So this is most of the schools still carry out this sort of promotion to prepare the students for the rigorous P5. So the best bet is to help your child to secure as high marks as possible with lower AL grades, preferably get 4 AL for the 4 subjects. So this is we call the block promotion of the following level. As you can see, your child, I believe, promoted from P3 goes directly to P4, but there's no on-block promotion from P4 to P5. That's why you see for P5, most school they will still stream the student according to their ALs they achieved this year. So it can be good or bad because in P5 and P6 is on-block promotion. So your child or other students, they will stay together for 2 years together, for better or for worse. And let's visit the science curriculum. And as you can see, this is the science curriculum framework for primary school. And this is from the curriculum planning and development. The director for science mentioned, the learning of science does require a certain level of clarity, though in the way concepts are explained, given the context of the question. So nowadays we focus on contextual answering. Otherwise, we, meaning either teachers, tutors, or even parents, may end up endorsing misconceptions in students or rewarding them with ambiguous responses. So, as a trained PE and trained science tutor, my objective and my mission is to help your child to understand the concepts clearly, help them to be able to apply the concepts in the right contextual questions. As you can see, this is the all the P4 syllabus tested from term 1 to term 4, although some school may not follow this order. I'd like to highlight to you these two topics of matter and temperature because these two topics are high testing percentage in PSLE. So students who have a poor understanding or poor concept application in these two topics, actually they will affect their PSLE score because these two topics are heavily tested in PSLE. So how do we support your child or how do we support my students? First of all, we can get them to be curious and inquisitive, encourage them to do simple experiments at home, like those involving measurement of weight, measurement of volumes, or even light experiment to form shadow. If you put the object closer to the light source, will the shadow become bigger or smaller? And also heat experiment, conduction of heat. For example, if you put a metal spoon inside a cup of hot coffee or hot tea, after maybe perhaps 15 seconds, explain why the metal spoon get hot so fast. So help them to understand before memorizing the concepts, and also help them to see they are real life examples of science concepts. Indeed, there are many, as you can see from my YouTube channel, which I will share with you later. And this is how I train students. Because more than 70% of P3 to P6 students has difficulty in giving accurate scientific answers to open-ended questions, I help them in mastering this kind of concepts in answering this type of questions. For example, as you can see, this is a very good P5, P6 OEQ. And you can see this explanation also from my YouTube channel. And these are the resources which are used to train students. Firstly, all P5 and P6 students and even P4, they will use my standard text, which I've written and published, the P5, the Mastering P5 PSLE Science OEQ book. And also I have this unique portal which I collaborate with Marshall Cavendish. I customize this learning portal with some of my training worksheets, YouTube channels, and also a recording of my conceptual teaching. And I also use a top schools paper where I modify the questions, enhance it with better questioning techniques, selected assessment book and challenging questions, and of course, my YouTube One Academy Science Howard channel. Currently, he has about 160 to 165 subscribers. So I encourage you to subscribe, like, and share. So no difficult, no pupils is too difficult to coach for science using my SEAL method, scientific experiential application learning. So these are some of the students who have enrolled for my past years of training, either in the booster class or the 2 days science intensive training. And now with the downtown line, it's very convenient because I have students coming from as far as Sengkang and even Tampines to Beauty World to be trained either weekly or in those intensive classes. And these are the various platforms. Because of COVID-19, I understand that some parents may be retrenched or having pay cuts. So this year, I've introduced this self-learning mode at $120 per month, unlimited access to the platform which I just showed you, the Marshall Cavendish Learning Platform, which I've included my own training materials, videos, and even worksheets. And also, there's live online training either by myself or by other tutors, and also the mass lecture, which I may conduct every month. And also of course, I highly encourage those who can make it come for the physical class. I pack my class with small number of students, with about 7 to 8 students per class, and there are limited seats left for the physical class due to the safe distancing requirements. And I encourage you to make your booking early. And as of 1st February, I will open up the P5 and even P4 Science Intensive together with PSLE intensive classes in March and June. So I welcome you to visit my One Academy Learning Center at Beauty World Center 0316, or you can remember in the Bible the John 3:16, a very famous verse. So 0316, John 3:16, and this is a hotline to enroll. And now I'd like to show you a YouTube channel of my One Academy Science. As you can see, this is one of the questions I have uploaded onto this training platform. So when it crosses over, suddenly it shoots up, correct? And then it detect. So when the second box crosses over, it drops. This is a very typical question testing the P4 student understanding of light and its concept. For example, when these blocks move through the light sensor, they will block the light. So when the light is blocked, the light sensor cannot detect any light. So that's why it formed this depression. So usually the students will be asked within 10 seconds how many blocks are being detected. So they have to give reasons to answer these our questions. And as I mentioned, I have more than 100 videos on my Science One Academy learning platform, and some interesting one. As I mentioned that they are science in real life. So to end my session, I will just show you a little video clip of the uniqueness of my science coaching for your child in this 48-second video. So once again, I welcome parents to kindly consider enrolling your child for my P4 science coaching, as well as those who are in P5 and also the very important P6 student taking their PSLE this year. So I'm Mr. Howard Yu. Once again, you can contact me at 8268-5299. I wish you all the best in your science learning and also the exciting journey of parenting. Thank you and God bless.